Hey everyone, Jeremy Castile again. So we've been talking a lot today about metrics, velocity, code quality, AI impact, all quantitative stuff. Numbers that tell you what's happening in your engineering organization. Now I want to focus on one of the most important metrics, though as we'll see, it's not actually a single metric, and that is developer experience. Because here's something I've noticed talking to engineering leaders over the past year. You can have all your metrics trending in the right direction and still have a problem brewing. Your cycle time is down. Your deployment frequency is up. You just shipped a major feature. And then three of your senior engineers put in their notice in the same week. So what happened? Usually it's developer experience. And the tricky thing is, by the time it shows up in attrition or delivery metrics, you're already behind. DevX is a leading indicator. It predicts what's coming 3 to 6 months before you see it in your other numbers. That's what I want to talk about today. What developer experience actually is, how to measure it, and how it connects to all those other metrics we've been discussing. All right, let's start with the basics. What is developer experience? It's not just, are developers happy? That's definitely part of it, but it's not the whole story. Developer experience is the friction, or lack thereof, that developers encounter doing their jobs. It's the cognitive load, it's the tooling, it's the processes. It's whether they feel like they can actually get work done, or if they're constantly fighting against the system. Think about it this way. A developer with great DevX can focus on solving problems. A developer with poor DevX is spending half their time fighting with build systems, waiting on approvals, trying to understand undocumented code, or dealing with flaky tests. So why does this matter to you as an engineering leader? There's real business impact here. Forrester did research on this. They surveyed a bunch of organizations about what happens when you improve developer experience. 74% said they could drive developer productivity. 77% said they shortened time to market. And 85% said they could impact revenue growth. Those aren't small numbers. And here's the thing, DevX is predictive. When your DevX scores start dropping, you're usually 3 to 6 months away from seeing problems in your delivery metrics. Developers feel the friction before it shows up in cycle time or defect rates. The cost of ignoring it? Attrition. Obviously, good developers have options, and they will use them. But also declining quality, slowing velocity, and this general sense of drag that's hard to pinpoint. Here's where it connects to everything else we've been talking about. Your quantitative metrics, the stuff we've covered in earlier sessions, they tell you what is happening. DevX tells you why it's happening and what's coming next. Let's look at a real example, something I've heard from a number of teams. Let's say your cycle time went down after you adopted AI coding agents. Great, right? But if your DevX scores around autonomy and mastery also dropped, you might have a problem. Developers might feel like they're just executing AI suggestions instead of actually designing solutions. That's going to catch up with you. Or here's another one I've heard. Velocity is high, deployments are frequent, but satisfaction scores are dropping. You might be burning people out. That high velocity isn't sustainable. You see what I'm saying? The quantitative metrics and the qualitative sentiment need to work together. One without the other is incomplete. Okay, so how do you actually measure developer experience? Most teams either measure nothing, which is a problem, or they measure the wrong things. Counting commits, tracking story points. That's not DevX, that's output. And output doesn't tell you if developers can actually do their best work. You need qualitative data. You need to ask developers about their experience. And that means developer surveys, voice of the developer surveys. Now, I know what you're thinking. Surveys can feel just like another thing on the list, but when done right, these are incredibly powerful. They're your direct line to understanding what's actually happening on the ground before it shows up in your other metrics. The key is asking the right questions across the right dimensions, not "Are you happy?" That's too vague. You need specific questions about the actual experience of doing the work. Here's the framework we use, and it's built around 6 key dimensions. First, productivity. This is the basics. Can developers actually get their work done? Do they have the right tools? Are they spending time on work that matters? Or are they constantly fighting with infrastructure and tooling? This is where you find out if people feel effective or if they're just busy. Second, software delivery performance. This is about the shipping process itself. Is it smooth or is it stressful? Can you deploy when you need to? Or are deployments these high risk events that everyone dreads? You're measuring whether your delivery process is an enabler or a bottleneck. Third, architecture. And this one's interesting because it's not always obvious. Can teams work independently, or is everything coupled together so tightly that you need 3 other teams to sign off before you can ship anything? Can you test in isolation, or do you need this massive integrated environment that's always broken? Architecture either enables velocity or it kills it. Fourth, continuous integration. Your automated processes, are they helping or are they hurting? Are your builds fast, or do developers have to wait 45 minutes to find out if their change worked? Are tests reliable, or are they flaky so people just ignore them? CI should be a safety net, not an obstacle course. Fifth, culture. This is the soft stuff that's actually really hard. Do people feel like they can take smart risks? Are failures treated as learning opportunities or as reasons to point fingers? Is information shared openly, or do you have to know the right person to get answers? Culture predicts whether your best people stay or leave. And sixth, satisfaction. This is the gut check. Do people actually want to be here? Are they learning and growing, or do they feel stuck? Do they have autonomy, or are they just taking orders? This is where you find out if you have an engagement problem before it becomes an attrition problem. Now, the key insight here, and this is important, no single metric tells the whole story. Developer sentiment without quantitative metrics is just vague feelings. You know people are unhappy, but you don't know what to fix. Quantitative metrics without sentiment, you're missing the why. You can see cycle time increasing, but you don't know if it's because of tech debt, tool problems, or process friction. Together, though, now you've got actionable insights. Here's an example of how this works. Let's say you run a developer survey and satisfaction with your CI/CD process is low. Okay, that's data, but it's not actionable by itself. Now you look at your quantitative metrics. Build times are increasing, failed deployment rate is up, test flakiness is trending the wrong way. Now you know what to fix and why it matters to your team. You're not guessing, you have the complete picture. So how do you actually do this in practice? First, you need regular voice of the developer surveys. Not annual engagement surveys that are 50 questions long and nobody takes seriously. I'm talking monthly or quarterly focused surveys. Maybe 15 to 20 questions across the dimensions we just talked about. Keep it short, keep it focused, and actually do something with the results. Second, you need to correlate those survey responses with your engineering metrics. This is where most teams fall down. They run the survey, they get the data, they look at it, they say, interesting, and then nothing happens. The value is in the correlation. Connect developer sentiment to velocity, to quality, to AI usage, to all the stuff you're already tracking. And third, and this is where it gets really powerful, you use that correlation to find and scale what's working. Compare teams or cohorts within your organization who have different DevX scores. See what the high-performing teams are doing differently. Understand the patterns, then scale those practices across the org. That's what a tool like GitKraken Insights can do. It's not just a survey tool, it's the connection between sentiment and outcomes. You get built-in developer surveys across all of these key dimensions, but more importantly, you get automatic correlation with all of your other metrics: velocity, quality, AI impact, code health, all of it. Here's the power of that correlation. You can compare teams with high versus low DevX scores and see the real impact. Teams with high DevX might ship twice as fast with 30% fewer defects. They might have better retention, faster cycle times, higher deployment frequency. Now you're not guessing about whether DevX matters. You can see it in your own data. And you can identify what separates your high performing teams from everyone else. Maybe they're using different tools, different processes, different communication patterns. Now you know what to scale. It's not just measuring sentiment, it's understanding what that sentiment predicts and what drives it. Here are two examples of where this makes a real difference. The first scenario: your architecture scores are coming in low. Teams are complaining about dependencies and coordination overhead. At the same time, you're starting to see cycle time creep up. Deployments are requiring more cross-team coordination. You're seeing the coupling problem in the sentiment data before it becomes a full-blown crisis. Now you know it's time to invest in decoupling, maybe break apart that monolith, reduce those dependencies. Second scenario: you just invested in new developer tooling. Maybe it's a new IDE, new CI/CD platform, whatever. The quantitative metrics haven't moved yet. It's too early. People are still learning the tools. But productivity sentiment is way up. Developers are excited about it. That's a leading indicator. The cycle time improvements, the quality improvements, they're coming. And you have the data to justify the investment to leadership before the ROI shows up in your delivery metrics. This is the power of connecting qualitative and quantitative data. You stop guessing and start knowing. Okay, so wrapping it up, here's the bottom line. Developer experience is your early warning system. It tells you what's coming before it shows up in your delivery metrics. And the way you measure it, the way you make it actionable, is by connecting sentiment to outcomes. Qualitative plus quantitative. Surveys plus metrics. No single number tells the story, but together they give you the complete picture. Your next steps: establish a baseline of DevX measurement. Start surveying your team regularly across those key dimensions. Connect that sentiment data to your existing metrics. Look for the correlations. Find out what predicts success in your organization and then scale it. And use it to guide your decisions: where to invest, what to change, what's working and what's not. If you want to see how this works in practice, GitKraken Insights has the built-in surveys and automatic correlation with all your engineering metrics. You can try it for free at gitkraken.com/insights. And if you want more on the complete measurement framework, how DevX connects to velocity, quality, and AI impact, grab the Quantifying the AI Impact guide we talked about earlier. It's all connected. All right, that's it for this session. I hope it was helpful for you. Thank you so much for joining me and hope to see you next time.